Hello everybody, it's that time again. Yep, it's drama time. Tana Turns 21's latest episode aired yesterday the 12th of August, and I have thoughts which may be controversial, but if I was Tana I would be upset by how they were making Tana look. And I would like to congratulate Jake Paul on his MTV show that no one gave him, because his name has been in the title and in nearly all the episodes and pictures, and he's pulled a really good fast one. Well, this episode yet again went back in time to almost a month ago to VidCon. It starts with Tana's assistant trying to get Tana up and her glam squad getting ready. Her meet and greet was at 2:30 p.m. It was 11:30, but Tana asked to stay in bed and only gets up when she realises that Jake has tried to FaceTime her. With only 40 minutes to go till she's supposed to be there. Jake asks if he can come surprise Tana at VidCon, which, if you don't know, but you would have to have been under a rock, Tana got kicked out 2 years ago for showing up. VidCon, because of the celebrities going and children going, takes security seriously, and you are not allowed to cause a scene as it's not safe. That whole mess spawned TanaCon, which was an even bigger mess. Tana's manager, Jordan, rings the creator hotline, who says absolutely not for Jake just to show up. Tana is upset and says, "Oh, but he's just my fiancé wanting to support me," which we will get to my thoughts on that later. Tana eventually shows up and surprisingly still has a lot of fans waiting for her. Major respect to the girl who literally hugs Tana and then looks down at her watch and points at it, calling her out. And Ashley says, well, I don't think it matters if Tana is a little late, because in fact her fans would find it weird if she was on time, as she's famous for running late. And this irks me. Yes, Tana is known for her hot mess and surprisingly late stuff. She was supposed to collab with Jeffree Star, which is an awesome opportunity that most people would jump at, and she didn't even show up. And this is part of the issue with this show, because Tana and her team aren't editing it, and it just doesn't make her look great. She got invited back to VidCon after trying to host a rival convention, and then you still don't take it seriously and keep your fans waiting. You keep the photographer waiting, they keep your security waiting, and hold up the interview that she had planned after the meet and greet. If this was me, I would be jumping through whatever hoops they needed. Anyway, after the meet and greet, Tana goes and has an interview on stage with Oscar Gracie from Entertainment Tonight. And her first sentence has a ton of F-words in, while they pan at the audience with a lot of kids all looking up at her. Oscar brings up the engagement, obviously, and asks what she thought of people saying it was not real, which, by the way, she said yet again, it was for clout and content. So when she said last week that it was taken out of context of a longer sentence, and of course it's real, and she was salty at MTV's editing of that part, well, she said it more than once again. Anyway, after saying it's real, Jake Paul's voice comes over the speaker and says, "You look beautiful," much to the surprise of Tana, who I don't think had been told that he was actually allowed to come. And Amari looked less than impressed, but the crowd went understandably nuts, and a lot of security, as predicted, had to move to the front and hold people back. Jake hobbles on with crutches after hurting his leg training for the Challenger Games. They kiss, and of course Jake brought half of Team 10, who had a camera 2 inches from their face. Jake actually had read and wrote a poem. Imari yet again impressed me by pointing out what we were all thinking by saying it wasn't really necessary for Jake to show up at VidCon and go on stage. Amen to that. He says, yeah, it's okay to talk about Jake. Of course they're going to, because of the engagement. But does he actually have to appear and steal her thunder? But it was necessary for Jake to turn up because he has somehow sneakily got his own MTV show without doing anything or being asked, and it's all good publicity. In fact, to show the irony of all this, on Jake's channel vlogging about VidCon, he literally says he snuck in to surprise Tana, which we now know is total BS because they rung the organizer to ask if he could come. After the poem and general cheesiness, Tana says in front of a younger audience, "I'm going to be getting some sex tonight." Ashley made me laugh 3 seconds later by saying this.
Yes, I do.
Holy that's ridiculous. Wow, I can't wait to get after this.
Keep
When Tana's referencing having sex with Jake tonight, I'm literally thinking in my head, yeah, you're probably going to get but I know it's not going to be from him. I feel like they pretend that they're hooking up to the public because it makes things seem more real, I guess.
And in fact, as soon as the interview is over, you don't see Jake again and they don't appear to leave together. The other ironic and funny part of this was the preview of the next episode, which is of the wedding. I say wedding in the loosest graffiti trap house, no altar, ex-con vicar, and for some reason impulsive debate in the corner with a fake Oprah, who by the way looked amazing. Now that would have been a ton of clout if the real Oprah had turned up. Anyway, Jordan, whilst linking arms with Tana, appearing to be walking her down the aisle, suddenly blurts out, "Oh, by the way, I've heard there's going to be a fake fight." Another example of the genius editing by MTV, which is good for the fans but not great for the show. And for Tana, who has been saying completely different stuff privately. I am not the only one who feels that this is now the Tana and Jake Paul show. One person wrote, "Well done, Jake, you managed to get an MTV reality show without anyone offering it to you, and this whole thing just makes Tana look bad. If I was her and this is how MTV chose to edit or portray me, I would be pissed." Another wrote, "Tana is really rude to Jordan, when in reality, he's the only one looking out for her." Someone else said, "The balls on that girl telling Tana she was definitely late. Oh my god, I love her." And someone else said, "I think Tana didn't realise that doing a reality TV show means you don't get to choose what they show." Someone else said, "Jake has made every one of her big moments about himself. Unreal." And I totally agree with that last comment. I would be so upset if that was my friend or boyfriend constantly insert himself into my biggest moments. Her 21st birthday party became more about Jake proposing, which I swear is why she ended up having a whole other party. Anyway, what do you guys think of Jana Forever and Jake's MTV show? Let me know in the comments section below, and if you could like and subscribe, that would be awesome. See you next time!